Hi everybody, this is Paul Cooper with Note Terms and Definitions Part 2. I just finished up the previous episode and realized I didn't have everything on there that I should, so I quickly added some more terms and definitions, and hopefully this will help you all know what to do when you're hearing different terms and you're not completely lost. So let's go ahead and continue. Additional note terms. This is a big one. Unpaid principal balance, or UPB, is the amount of the principal that is left on the loan. So this is generally how you're going to be valuing a lot of your stuff. You're either going to be valuing it off of this, or you're going to be valuing it off our next one. FMV, or fair market value, is the actual as-is value of the home determined by the current market. Not 6 months ago, not a year ago, not if it was completely fixed up. It's the as-is value of that home right now in that area, compared to comparable homes. And so you're going to be using these two terms a lot, and that's how you're going to value most of these loans that you're looking to buy. You're either going to be basing it off a UPB. If the UPB is higher than the fair market value, meaning that the home is underwater, the mortgage is worth more than the home, then you want to base it off of the fair market value because that's the lesser. If the fair market value is higher than the UPB, meaning that the home's not underwater and that there's some equity, then you want to base it off of the UPB because you want to get the best price possible. And let's say the home's worth $1 million, but the unpaid principal balance is only $100,000, so there's $900,000 worth of equity. Well, you're not going to pay them 50% of the value of the home. That'd be $500,000. You're never going to collect that because the UPB is so low. So that's why you always want to base it off the lesser. Now, if it's close, then, and if they want you to use the fair market value of the home and the UPBs, just barely under it, but it's still a good deal, then you need to be able to recognize that. Then the third thing on this page is the principal and interest. This is the monthly payment owed by the borrower to the note holder. So this is what you should be getting every month from the borrower if everything's going well and they're reperforming, or if it was already a performing note, this is the payment you should be getting. It could change a little bit, like if you want them to start having their taxes and insurance go to escrow, then you may be getting that, but that's not your money. If you're getting it, that's what you're holding that in escrow for taxes and insurance to make sure it's made. That's not your money for the loan. The principal and interest is the money that's owed. That's the money that's coming to you. That's what's owed to you for the loan. You may get some more from fees or something like that, but if everything's good and they're all caught up, the principal and interest is what you're going to be getting. Next page, additional note terms continued. We've got the original loan amount. So this is the amount of money owed by the borrower before interest and fees. So if you took out a $100,000 loan for your house, that would be the original amount. And so don't get confused by it. It's very straightforward. And generally you're going to look at this to see and compare this to UPB to see kind of how much they've paid along with some other information. You're also going to have the date of the note or the origination, and that's the date the loan was created. It's not super important. You just kind of want to know so you can see, if this was a 30-year note and they haven't paid for the last 10 years and it's been going on for 15 years, then it's going to be stretched out for a while. They probably haven't paid that much. It's not that big of a deal. There are a few concerns with older notes that if you have to modify them or anything, there may be some new laws that came into effect, some new consumer protection laws, but otherwise it's usually not that big of a deal. What is important though is the next due date. So a lot of the time on there they'll have the date that they last paid. That that lets you know, like, they paid 6 months ago. Okay, well that's good, but then you also need to look at the next due date because they could be years apart. They may have paid last December, but they could still be owing payments from 2012 or something like that. So that lets you know that they're way behind. It's a good indication, if they made that payment, then maybe they're trying to do the right thing. But the next due date is the next payment that's owed to you that they're behind on. And the maturity date is the date that the loan should pay off if everything went well. If they never missed a payment or they got caught up, then that would be the date that they would make their final payment, and then the loan should be done. And that's it for additional note terms and definitions. Hope this helped you. If you have any other questions, please reach out to me. And thank you for your time.